99% of people wake up and immediately hand control of their entire day to their phone, their notifications, and whatever emotion happens to hit them first. The other 1% follow 10 specific rules every single morning before the world gets a chance to shape their mind for them. Today, you're learning all 10. Listen to this every morning if you want to. Let it become part of how you start your day. By the end, you won't just know these rules, you'll understand exactly why they work. Let's begin. Rule 1. Win the first 60 seconds. The moment you open your eyes, before you check your phone, before you let a single outside input in, take 60 seconds of complete silence. No scrolling, no noise, just breath and stillness. This matters more than it sounds like it should. The first input your mind receives each day sets the tone for everything that follows. Most people's first 60 seconds are hijacked by notifications, bad news, or someone else's demands. The 1% protect that window fiercely because they understand that whoever controls your first 60 seconds quietly controls a piece of your entire day. Rule 2. Do not check your phone for the first 30 minutes. This one is simple and brutally effective. Your phone is a doorway into everyone else's problems, opinions, and demands. The moment you open it first thing in the morning, you invite the entire world into a mind that hasn't even fully woken up yet. The 1% delay this, 30 minutes minimum before any screen. That's 30 minutes where your mind belongs entirely to you, before it belongs to notifications, messages, and other people's urgency. Rule 3. Say this to yourself, out loud or in your mind. Today I will meet people who are difficult, unfair, and ungrateful. And today I choose to remain unaffected by them. This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. Marcus Aurelius wrote something almost identical to himself every single morning, 2,000 years ago. He wasn't expecting the worst because he was negative. He was preparing his mind in advance so that when difficulty inevitably came, it didn't catch him off guard and didn't have the power to control his reaction. Rule 4, make your bed. This sounds small, it isn't. Making your bed is the first completed task of your day, and completing it immediately sends a signal to your mind. I am someone who follows through. I am someone who takes control of small things, which builds the discipline to take control of larger ones. The 1% don't skip this because it feels insignificant. They do it precisely because it's small and repeatable and builds a foundation of discipline before the day even really begins. Rule 5. Move your body before you consume anything else. Before food, before caffeine, before scrolling, move. Even 5 minutes of stretching, walking, or exercise sends a clear signal to your nervous system. We are awake, alert, and in control. Most people consume information before they've even moved their body once. The 1% reverse this order. Movement first, consumption second. This single reordering changes how alert, focused, and grounded you feel for the rest of the morning. Rule 6. Identify the one thing that actually matters today. Not the 10 things, not the endless list. One thing, the single task that, if completed, would make today genuinely productive, even if nothing else got done. Most people start their day reacting to whatever demands their attention first. Emails, messages, other people's priorities. The 1% decide deliberately before the noise starts what actually matters today and protect time for it accordingly. Rule 7. Remind yourself what is actually within your control. Say this to yourself. I cannot control what happens today. I can only control how I respond to what happens. This single reminder, repeated every morning, quietly rewires how you move through unexpected difficulty throughout the day. Most people's stress comes from fighting to control things that were never controllable in the first place. Other people's opinions, unexpected delays, outcomes that depend on factors outside their influence. Starting the day with this reminder builds a kind of armor against that exhausting, unnecessary fight. Rule 8. Avoid complaining for the first hour, no matter what happens. Traffic. A rude message. Something going wrong immediately. Whatever it is, the 1% make a deliberate choice not to complain about it, out loud or internally, for at least the first hour of their day. This isn't about suppressing real problems. It's about refusing to let your morning become defined by frustration before it's even really begun. Complaining, especially early, primes your mind to keep noticing more things to complain about. Silence, in the face of small annoyances, keeps your mind clear for what actually matters. Rule 9. Eat or drink something with intention, not distraction. Whatever your morning meal or drink looks like, the 1% take at least a few minutes to consume it without a screen in front of them. No scrolling while eating, no half-attention breakfast, a few minutes of simply being present with a basic act of nourishment. This sounds minor. It isn't. It's a small daily practice of presence, training your mind to be where you actually are, instead of constantly split between the present moment and a screen. Rule 10. Set your intention for who you want to be today, not just what you want to do. Most people plan their day around tasks. The 1% plan their day around character, not just an "I need to finish this project," but "today I choose to respond calmly, to stay disciplined, to treat people with patience, even when it's inconvenient." This shift from task-focused to character-focused changes the entire texture of a day. Tasks get completed either way, but who you were while completing them, calm or reactive, disciplined or scattered, patient or irritated, that's the part that actually shapes the kind of person you're slowly becoming. Now let's talk about why these 10 rules work together as a system, not just individually. Each rule on its own seems small. 60 seconds of stillness, 30 minutes without a phone, making your bed. None of these individually will transform your life overnight, but together, practiced daily, they create something far more powerful than any single habit could. They create a mind that starts each day in control, instead of a mind that starts each day reacting. This is the actual difference between the 1% and everyone else. It was never about doing something extraordinary. It was about doing 10 ordinary things consistently, deliberately, every single morning, while everyone else lets the first moments of their day get hijacked by whatever demands their attention first. Let's talk about why mornings specifically matter so much. Your mind, in the first hour after waking, is unusually impressionable. Whatever input it receives first tends to set the emotional and mental tone for hours afterward. This is why checking distressing news or scrolling through other people's curated lives first thing in the morning can leave you feeling anxious or inadequate before you've even started your actual day. The 1% understand this, even if only instinctively. They protect the first hour fiercely, not because they're rigid or extreme, but because they understand it disproportionately shapes everything that follows. Let's talk about what happens when you actually commit to this consistently over time. The first few days will feel effortful. Deliberately not checking your phone will feel almost uncomfortable, like resisting a reflex. Saying the Stoic reminders to yourself might feel unfamiliar, even a little strange. This is completely normal. Any new discipline feels awkward before it becomes automatic. But within a couple of weeks, something shifts. The stillness starts to feel less like a chore and more like something you genuinely crave. The mental clarity from delaying your phone becomes noticeably different from the scattered, reactive feeling of checking it immediately. The discipline compounds, quietly, morning after morning, until it's no longer something you have to force. It becomes simply who you are. Let's talk about why most people never actually build this, even when they want to. Most people try to change everything at once. New morning routine, new diet, new exercise plan, new sleep schedule, all starting on the same Monday. This rarely works because willpower is a limited resource, and trying to overhaul everything simultaneously exhausts it almost immediately. The 1% don't do this. They build one rule at a time, let it become automatic, and only then add the next one. If you try all 10 rules starting tomorrow and it feels overwhelming, that's not failure. That's simply information that you're trying to build the entire structure before the foundation is set. Start with Rule 1 and Rule 2. The 60 seconds of stillness and the 30 minutes without your phone. Let those become automatic, even if it takes 2 or 3 weeks. Then add the next rule. This is how real, lasting discipline actually gets built, not through dramatic overnight transformation, but through patient, deliberate layering. Let's talk about something important. This isn't about being perfect every single morning. Some mornings you'll oversleep. Some mornings an emergency will force you to check your phone immediately. Some mornings you simply won't have the energy to follow every rule. This does not mean you failed or that the system doesn't work. The 1% aren't defined by never missing a morning. They're defined by returning to the practice consistently even after missing it. Discipline isn't the absence of failure. It's the consistent return to the practice, regardless of how many times you've fallen off it. Here's a way to think about this that might help you hold on to it. Imagine your mind each morning as a blank canvas. Whatever you paint onto it first, whether that's stillness and intention or noise and reactivity, becomes the base layer that everything else that day gets painted on top of. You cannot fully control what happens throughout your day, but you have significant control over what that very first layer looks like. The 1% choose to paint that first layer deliberately every single morning, with stillness, movement, intention, and discipline. Everyone else lets it get painted, accidentally, by whatever notification, emotion, or distraction happens to arrive first. Now let's talk about how to actually start practically tomorrow morning. First, don't try all 10 rules at once. Pick 2. The 60 seconds of stillness and the 30 minutes without your phone. Just these 2 for the next week. Second, write the Stoic reminder somewhere you'll see it. On your mirror, your nightstand, your phone's lock screen. Yes, today I will meet people who are difficult, and I choose to remain unaffected by them. Third, the next time you catch yourself reaching for your phone within the first 30 minutes of waking, pause. Notice the urge. Choose stillness instead, even just for a few more minutes. Fourth, at the end of each week, add one more rule from this list. Slowly, deliberately. Building the full system over roughly 2 to 3 months, not overnight. Let me leave you with this. The 1% were never a different kind of person than you. They didn't start with more discipline, more motivation, or some rare trait you don't possess. They simply started protecting their mornings deliberately, one small rule at a time, until those small rules quietly became the foundation of who they are. Every single morning is a fresh opportunity to choose deliberately how your mind enters the day. Reactive, scattered, and controlled by whatever arrives first, or still intentional and disciplined, before the world gets the chance to shape it for you. You don't need to change everything tomorrow. You simply need to protect the first 60 seconds, then the first 30 minutes, then slowly the rest of these 10 rules, one at a time, until they're no longer something you're forcing yourself to do, but simply who you've become. If this resonated with you, save this video and come back to it tomorrow morning, and the morning after that. Let it become part of your actual practice, not just something you watched once and forgot. If you're new here, this channel is called Withinism. We talk about things like this every week, the discipline nobody teaches you, and the honest, practical work of actually building a stronger mind. If this video helped you, subscribe. Not for me, for the version of you that's still deciding every single morning who they're going to become. And if someone comes to mind who could genuinely use more discipline and stillness in their mornings, send this to them. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.